Hey guys, Dr. Ben here, FA Well Centers. Excited to talk to you guys today about how to prepare yourself. What are you doing today to be ready for this next round of COVID that's coming? You've heard the whispers, you've heard a couple friends or family members that have gotten diagnosed with COVID lately. You're seeing it on the news, on CNN having articles about it, Fox News having articles about it. There's this little buzz coming out that, oh, there's this new variant to Omicron and people are starting to get sick. It's kind of weird. It's May. People don't get colds and flus in May, so maybe it really is this COVID going around. But what are you going to do today? What are you going to do now to be ready? One, to prevent what's coming, to prevent that potential infection that's coming at you. But two, what are you going to do when you or a loved one does get diagnosed with COVID? Because there's a very good chance that it is going to happen again. So welcome everybody. Pop down below where you guys are watching from. Love to see you all over the country, all over the world. Let me know if you're having any infections in your area. If you guys are seeing a rise, we have people in Australia, South Africa, Europe, all over the place, and whatever state you're in, let us know if you're seeing a bump in the cases. Here in Colorado, got a family member that got diagnosed. We've got a few people we know. We've heard some in Tennessee as well. So there's a little more buzz, a little more people getting diagnosed, having some colds, some things like that. So first of all, we are going to continue to be exposed to COVID. This is going to continue to be driven. There's various reasons. We're not going to get into that today, but there's various reasons why this is going to continue to be driven again and again and again. And so what we've got to do is, one, get our bodies as prepared as possible. And that's going to be the first step. And yes, you need to have some things on hand. You need to have some vitamin D, some quercetin, some zinc, some of these different supplements, potentially even some of the if you're in Tennessee, you can buy some of these other products over the counter now even. So there are some things out there that we're looking at that we know can be helpful. But the first thing is you've got to get your body as prepared as possible. And so when we think about what decreases the immune system, those are the opposite things that we can do to actually increase the immune system. So we know that a chronic stress or a big stressor can decrease the immune system. So if you're under a lot of stress, if it's a family situation, if it's a job situation, if you're on social media all the time and worried about elections and presidents and gas prices and all these things, you need to change your state. You need to change your state out of that chronic stress and get it to where your body is not suppressing that immune system with that chronic stress. So deep breathing, so breathing exercises, there's tons of apps out there, there's tons of information where you can truly get that calming state very easily. Again, drop down below. We've got Camille, we've got Shell, some different people popping on there. But let us know, are you seeing a rise in cases in your area? We are a little bit in Colorado. We are seeing some in Tennessee, some various places around the country. Let us know what you guys are seeing all around the world as far as increase in cases. So the stress side is huge. So deep breathing, relaxation techniques, meditation, getting out into nature, going for hikes. Even if you live in New York City, you can go to Central Park and get out and just be under a tree, walk through the grass barefoot. Anything along those lines, you've got to get out and calm that body down. Number two is going to be sleep. We know if you have poor sleep, if you have a bad night's sleep, things like that, you are going to not be able to have as robust of an immune response the next day. So what does that mean? Well, you've got to do everything possible to get a good night's sleep. One of the first things we do with our patients is look at their brain, look at a brain map, do potentially neurofeedback. There's a lot of things that you can do to train that brain to get into the good quality sleep state. We have lots of videos on sleep hygiene, and that's going to involve turning your lights down if you're going to sleep at 10, turn your lights down by 9. Have reddish orangish light bulbs in some of your lights, salt lamps. That reddish orangish light calms things down. Not use blue light, so you're not going to use your computer, phones, iPads, all those type of things before bed. And sleep cooler. A lot of people are used to sleeping warmer, having their furnace on in the winter, things like that, but you want to sleep cooler and also have blackout curtains. Make sure, especially if you've got street lights, anything shining in, you've got to make sure those are dark in there. The other thing that you want to do is stabilize your blood sugar. If your blood sugar is swinging, highs, lows, bouncing around, you are not going to be able to have a good quality working immune system. You've got to stabilize that blood sugar as consistent as you possibly can. If you have a continuous glucose monitor like our patients do, you can see this trend line and you want it to look almost like you're flatlined, not like an EKG, up, down, up, down, up, down through there. So we've got to be able to get that blood sugar as stabilized as possible, because remember, you can't out-supplement a weakened immune system. So these next steps that we're talking about, as far as taking some supplements, doing some things with nebulizers, some of these things, if you have a weakened immune system, if you are depleted, if you're not holding up your end of the bargain, just taking some external things, they're going to be helpful, but it's not going to do everything that it needs to do. So let's get into some of the things that you can do on a regular basis. So you need to get your immune system as strong as possible, but you also need to make sure your vitamin D is between 60 and 80. And how many IUs does that take? People always ask, how much do I need to take? Well, the average person is going to need somewhere between 5 and 10,000 IUs of vitamin D. If you don't know and you're not testing, you need to test. If your doctor won't test you, let us know. We can drop ship a kit to you and we can do a vitamin D test. So zinc is going to be another one. Some people like to cycle zinc on and off, maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks on, take a couple weeks off. But if you are feeling like you're coming down with something, zinc is going to be a great one to take. It's an antiviral. And then quercetin can help bring that zinc in, just like they had talked about hydroxychloroquine being helpful. Well, hydroxychloroquine would bring that zinc into the cells, but quercetin can do that as well. So the other people, they'll talk about, there's some anti-parasitic over-the-counter things that we can't really talk about, but those have been shown to be very helpful as well. Hey, thank you for your positive comment there, Stretchy Stretch. We've got to be ready. You've got to have your kit on hand. Gargling food-grade hydrogen peroxide is helpful. If you're in a place where you know there's a lot of people that are sick, gargling with that hydrogen peroxide when you get home. Nebulizing, we've talked about that. There's some recipes online, nebulizing that food-grade hydrogen peroxide, doing nasal sprays with some antiviral, antibacterial. Once you're out in public is going to be helpful. Washing your hands is going to be helpful. A lot of these things, because here's the deal. Odds are you're not going to have a serious problem with COVID at this point. You're not going to go to the hospital, die, things like that. But just like this webinar that I'm going to be doing next week, I'm going to be talking about long COVID. And unfortunately, that's more of a concern for me, long COVID symptoms, than it is having a serious COVID effect. Yes, there's certain people that are older, that have diabetes, high blood pressure, all these underlying conditions that may have a harder time with COVID. But the real problem that we're seeing in this country is long COVID, where at least a quarter of the people that have had COVID are now dealing with this long COVID symptoms. So we're going to be talking about that. Look for the link coming out. We're going to be doing that next week. A 1-hour live webinar just on long COVID, things that you need to be doing, things that you can do for your loved ones, yourself, friends, anything that are going to get your life back. And what about sweet wormwood for COVID? Yes, there is some research showing that can be helpful as well. I love oil of oregano. And a lot of good things through there. So, all right, guys, love having you on. You've got to get the body as strong as possible, and you've got to get your kit ready so that you can be prepared if you or a loved one does come down with COVID. Let me know if you've got anything that you like to do or anything that you've been doing, and pop that down below in the comments, and we will go ahead and share those with other people, and you can have a great conversation. We have a great community here, a lot of people sharing what they're doing and what is working. So keep your body as strong as possible, no matter where this quote unquote wave goes. We don't know if it is going to be or not, but you've got to be prepared no matter what is coming at you. So stay strong out there, guys. Take care.